on fire now. Okay, from our correspondent Mark Miller on fire, now to another really scary scenario. So imagine this. I've actually pictured this, right? You're in a plane. All of a sudden, the oxygen drops in the cabin. You start feeling faint. You can't see. What do? I would panic. Wouldn't you panic?
I think a lot of people would panic. But if you're the pilot of a $55 million fighter jet, you probably should keep your cool. And at a Naval Air Station in California, we discovered that pilots are trained to do exactly that.
Welcome to the Aviation Survival Training Center in Lemoore, California. This is where Navy pilots come face to face with disaster and learn how to survive.
All right, who's next?
Today, they'll tackle 3 emergency scenarios.
Good seal.
Starting with a lesson on hypoxia.
All right, here we go.
Hypoxia occurs when the body isn't getting enough oxygen.
This has a lot of negative effects on your ability to cognitively function, process information, and eventually stay conscious.
The higher pilots climb, the less oxygen there is. Usually, they get an O2 top-up through their mask. But sometimes equipment fails, and these pilots need to be able to recognize when they're in trouble.
Real danger of hypoxia is its insidious onset because it's very subtle. Your heart's beating a lot faster, they're very tired. And then last but not least, you get euphoric. And they start just realizing something's not right here, I shouldn't be happy.
All right, you're flying.
They're about to experience hypoxia firsthand.
You're at 10,000 feet, so at this point I'm going to bump you up to 25,000, okay?
What we're going to do is reduce the amount of oxygen that they're actually getting through their mask.
At this point you are hypoxic.
Yeah, got lightheaded.
Lightheaded, okay.
Little hot in the face.
I can see you starting to get red, and you're really starting to focus. Your eyes are really looks like they're working.
Yeah, kind of hard to breathe.
Knowing he's hypoxic is half the battle. Now he's got to act on it.
The very first thing you need to do is activate your emergency oxygen and then initiate a descent, because once you're below 10,000 feet, it's not a factor. So you need to get down low enough that you actually don't need the oxygen.
Good to feel what it's like to lose it a little bit.
Up next at Survival School, Ejection Seats 101.
Go ahead and arm your seat at this point.
None of these pilots know what a real ejection feels like, but this will give them a taste.
It's not nearly as much as a real ejection seat. It's not even half. But it's enough that it gives them a little bit of surge, creates a little anxiety.
Ejection seats have built-in explosives that are designed to blow pilots clear of their aircraft.
Please understand, if you're going to choose to eject from an aircraft, you've already eliminated other options. It's going to hurt. You're probably going to get hurt. You've now decided this is my last opportunity. So we teach them the proper body position, setting up with their head up, their chins up, how to properly hold on to the handle and hold on to the other hand.
Make sure you keep your elbows in, okay?
If you lose grip, say with one of your hand and it flails out at a high-speed ejection, 300, 400, 500 knots, you might as well just be a leaf breezing in the wind, because it will just flop behind you.
On your third eject, you're going to pull that handle, go for a ride, okay? You ready? All right. Prepare to eject. Eject, eject, eject. Uh-oh. Guess what happened there? Chicken wing that pulled your elbows out, okay? Remember, keep your elbows in, pull it straight up. Remember, those cockpits are not that wide, okay? All right, here we go. Eject, eject, eject. All right, if you are free of all pain and discomfort, give me a thumbs up. Okay, go ahead and you can undo all your coat fittings for me.
If these pilots are forced to eject, this next drill will come in handy. It's all about getting them to the ground safely.
Essentially, we get you up there in all your gear and hang you in it and put a helmet on with a set of goggles that are going to display your virtual reality world.
Uh-oh. What's that? Give it a little more shape. There you go. Good job.
And we have them deal with emergencies. Now, there's a number of emergencies you can have with your parachute. You can have a situation where you have a streamer, where for some reason the parachute doesn't open properly.
Very good.
It's somewhat fun, but after a little while I start going numb below the waist.
They've got to fight that numbness to practice a proper landing. Knees together, legs slightly bent.
As soon as you hit the ground, you're going to start rolling. You want to maximize the contact points with which you hit the ground.
Don't look down. When you look down,
okay.
you brace for it, and you wind up actually injuring yourself.
Okay.
Much better.
They've made it to the end of the day. It's been a grueling lesson in survival, and now these Navy pilots are armed with a new weapon, knowledge.
In the event we have to eject, this is going to just teach us the proper procedures that we're going to need to go through and making sure that we set ourselves up for success.
Welcome back. Earlier in the show, we looked at the crash of that P-51 Mustang at the Reno Air Races and what could have led to those unfortunate events.
One of the things that the pilot likely dealt with in the seconds before the crash was extremely high G-forces, forces that can easily cause a pilot to black out while they're flying.
This next Daily Planet story gives us exclusive behind-the-scenes access to one of the U.S. Navy's fighter pilot training schools, a place where trying to combat debilitating G-forces is a top priority.
Being a fighter pilot is prestigious, glamorous, and grueling. They scream through the air faster than the speed of sound, and inside the cockpit, they endure excruciating G-forces.
Here we go. You're on top, breathe. Hold that breath. One more breath.
This gig is part guts, part glory, and these recruits want to get in the game. But before they can fly, they've got to prove they've got what it takes to survive in a high G environment.
Keep it up. Don't let it up. Halfway there. Don't get fast.
Feels like a giant is squeezing your whole body. And, yeah, that was just a weird sensation.
This is the Navy's Aviation Survival Training Center.
We maximize the survivability of the warfighter. That's what we do.
When pilots make fast turns, they experience forces that can be as large as 9 times gravity.
I weigh roughly 200 pounds, so at 9 Gs, I weigh 1,800 pounds. It's like a Mack truck is sitting on you.
All right, watch your head right here.
These rookies are learning how G-forces really affect the body.
Hearts are designed to pump blood to her head at 1 G, not 7, 8, 9 Gs. So it lacks the capacity to do so. It has troubles.
When blood isn't getting to the brain, a pilot will pass out.
So we have technique called the anti-G straining maneuver, or AGSM, so that they can stay conscious all the way up in these high G levels.
They've got to force blood to the brain by contracting their muscles and doing a special breathing technique. They'll practice inside this centrifuge.
Stick aside. Profile is running.
And you will feel the gradual onset of Gs right about now. During that onset, when the Gs come on, that's when the most fluid shift, or the most shift from the blood from your head down, is going to happen. And it's really important that you do everything you can to restrict that from happening.
Legs. Breath. Hold it. Hold it. You're on top. Breathe. Wait for me, sir. Breathe.
There, drop your. So you hear her say the command, legs. That means to tighten up the legs. Breath. When we say breath, we want you to initiate and then lock it down. So you're squeezing your legs, you've locked down your air, and you're increasing that pressure in order to restrict the fluid from shifting.
Right now, all they care about is staying conscious. Once they get in a jet, it'll get a lot tougher. They'll have to make critical combat decisions too.
Stay on those abs.
And then in about 3 seconds, we go ahead and have them relax. The blood runs out. Your heart's able to beat normally, about, one good time. Get some good, fresh, oxygenated blood up about here. And then you just continually do this on and on.
7.5 is up next. You got to give me all you got.
These crazy facial expressions are common, and let's be honest, they're hilarious.
Like you're constipated on the toilet. Essentially, you're doing the same thing.
It does look funny, but it hurts like hell.
It's like wrestling a bear. It's kind of like a 90-minute workout in 10 minutes.
My feet have cramps in them from tying them so hard.
Back in the trainer, Ensign Harry Davies is prepping for one of the toughest exercises.
So whenever you're feeling up to it, start slowly turning your head.
In a combat scenario, fighter pilots will turn to see their enemies. This posture makes it a lot harder to pull off the anti-G strain maneuver.
Legs. Breath. Hold it. Hold it.
Get those glutes. One more time. And coming down. And we are there. You can let go of the stick. And I will. Hold the head steady. That was a little fast to come back up. Nice job. You don't want to go again? No, we're good. All right, we're going to bring you home with this time. Nice job.
Am I swirling? Watch your head. Yeah, you're swirling.
That was crazy. I definitely learned you have to really be careful, otherwise you could wind up unconscious like that, and it could be really bad.
That's exactly what the instructors want to hear.
People come back and tell us what you did saved my life.
Today's lesson was agonizing, but you know the saying, no pain, no gain.
I would say this, if flying was as painful as this machine, people would not fly. That being said, when they complete it, they then have the confidence that I can take anything an aircraft can dish out and I'm doing it right.